this point, just getting another 300 bucks is about as good as it's going to get. That doesn't happen. It will be OpTic to have a very nice clean pistol around there. He saw exactly what they were going for at the start. They wanted to go for the outside execution, not straight away. Just wait for that CT aggression to come in first, work out what's going on, show a little bit of presence, drop the smokes, and open things up. And that's why we're buying those P250s, Vince, because you can actually have the similar sort of range the USP has. Obviously, the Glock doesn't have that one bullet potential. And on a map like Train, very long range, lots of those sort of angles to work with. And there's a good shot from Gay to open things up. That really was the starting point of the initial round there, and we'll see what happens in number 2. It is going to be a force buy of sorts from Fnatic. You see the scout coming out for Draken there. Exists with a bit of extra cash, $500 to be exact, and he's just got the Deagle, no armor. The rest of the players on CZs here. We have 2 rifles for OpTic, just going to be slowing things down in the default. You don't have to do anything too flash on these sort of rounds. Just get some intel first, get basic map control like Brown Halls, and see whether any CT aggression will be coming through. And for now, Crims is up there. He might be able to steal a kill away here. He is very good in these sort of positions. Not going to be pushing his luck too much. Just waiting there to see if anyone walks into his crosshair of the CZ. Still with the majority of their smokes. Actually, all 5 available for OpTic there. So you'd assume something very similar to what you saw in the pistol there. An execution after about 45 seconds. Try and trade out kills. Make sure that you're not surprised by angles like this. Players like JW, the idea here is to try and make sure you're trading him out. He can't get multiple kills. Perfect. Amazing flashbang. KGB comes out of main entrance, takes him down, and Draken, he might be able to get a tag or 2 here, but it's not going to be round-winning plays. Gay takes him, and that's going to be the round completely. The force buy does absolutely nothing for Fnatic there.
Exactly, and so they want to try and rinse and repeat. They're going to try and save these 2 CZs with Flasher and Crims, both with the Kevlar, but in terms of the round, as you highlighted, it is over. OpTic will be starting this 2-0. Pretty unforgiving as well with these best of ones. You thrust into a potential elimination match very quickly. They're going to try and take away Flusher's CZ. Won't be happening. And a UMP does trade hands. That would be a decent takeout of the round if they can hold on to it. His partner in crime of Crims, though, has been found by Config. And so Flusher just stands alone.
Certainly does. Not really much he can do with this, but he has got the UMP and armor. That's $600 in the bag as well. That's actually quite a decent round for him, all things considered. If he can save that weapon into the next round, can give it another crack with the money-farming weapon there in his hands. The rest of the teammates, of course, will be full eco. Those will be maybe PG-50s, but probably just the default pistols themselves. And we'll see whether... Well, Flushing can drop the CZ, to be fair, so it won't be a completely... bare bones round 3 for Fnatic here. But OpTic, they'll be fine with that. Wasn't the cleanest round they would have hoped for, but still managed to keep the majority of players alive. Draken's had a haircut, but looks of things. Not going to go for the curtains anymore. It's a shame, but it's the way she goes sometimes. We're just going to have 3 USPs. Save CZ dropped by Flusher. He'll use the UMP here. And a bit of a faster round here. You can really just do what you want in these sort of rounds. It's unlikely you're going to give much away at all. You've got the advantage in terms of the firepower. You know they're going to be going for something desperate like a stack somewhere. It's actually working out for 1 kill at least. Crims will take down Yugi. But that's going to be the round complete. It's up to Crims and Flusher now. Maybe they just want to save that UMP and use it in the gun round. Who knows?
Yeah, especially just charging forward with the expendable weapons. They want to trade across the AWPs and AKs anyway. So if they lose them and get a bit of money before falling, it's all good. Snappy now trades across to an AK. As anticipated, the round is going to comfortably go the way of OpTic for a 3-0 start. Flusher tries to back away and relocate, see if he can do some damage with the UMP. But in terms of the round, it is pretty much tied up in a neat little ribbon.
I think you might be right. No bonus round potential here, though, really. Like, normally when you come into these sort of rounds, you get the 3-0, you might have a, say, UMP or a MAC-10, for example. They're going to actually lose another player there. Quite an expensive round, and it's Flusher. He's going to have a load of cash for the first gun round here. He might even survive. He's got $3,000 in the bag right now. He'll get another $2,400 on top of that, so we'll see what he can do with this one. Not going to be able to take that UMP the next round, not the end of the world, but 3 players survive for OpTic there. 3-0 on the door, the best of 1. That's a huge advantage to have. You can find a 3-0 on the T side on a map like Train. They are looking very good right now, but obviously it's very early days. This round will be indicative as to which direction it's going in. It'll be a nightmare for Fnatic to give us one away. And we talked about how important the AWP is going to be for both teams here. They haven't got a single one for that first gun round, Vince. And that's why we always, well, at least I always say, your AWPers don't want to be forced by in that second round because you're stifling them and you're limiting your chances of actually winning going forward. In the best of 1 especially, you can see they've got no kits. No AWP, and JW's got a shotgun. It's a viable weapon on a map like Train, sure, but it's just not an ideal situation whatsoever. OpTic can play a very nice execution-based round here, overwhelm them. They get the bomb down with equal trades, not even worth a retake, especially if they get the bomb down inside.
and Henry, they've already shredded through quite a bit of their utility. They've only got 3 smokes and a Molotov left. And as you highlighted, no kits. Flusher eats a bunch of damage. He's down to 18, but Draken will hold the line. Only good for 1, however, so the trade's going to favor OpTic. They can already rummage a plant onto the B side. No great flank coming into play either. It would be JW with his Mag 7, but he's still stationary. While Flusher tries to feel out to see if he can get a frag. Now JW's going to make a move. And if they want any chance at clutching this Henry, he's got to get kills.
He really has. Remember, they have no kits here, and it's the equal situation I'm talking about. They traded out the kill and got the plant. In my opinion, not even worth going for. You do not have a kit, you do not have the utility, and you're just going to be running into the AKs one by one here. And if OpTic plays correctly, it should be a 0% chance of them winning it. And indeed, that's exactly what's happened here. And that's the nightmare of force buying that second round. JW might be good for 1, but surely could be traded out. They're being a little bit tentative, but they can survive in those brown holes, not chasing for the kill. You know what, you can keep your shotgun. That's what they're saying to him. We'd rather keep our AKs, it's more valuable, but now he's got 2 players in front of him. They have to take him down now. And indeed they will. So he did grab an upgraded weapon there, but it was taken out of his hands. Rogger has got a very impressive beard. Could you grow one like that, Vince? Could you get it that length?
I feel like I could around the goatee, but problem is I'm patchy.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Well, mate, you're doing better than me. I shave once every 3 weeks. No one even notices when that happens, you know? So I'm very jealous of those Scandinavian Viking genes that's going on. Either way, we'll get into round number 5. Remember, 1 saved weapon for Fnatic in the hands of Exist, the newly signed in-game leader of the squad. He'll be joined by Crims with CZ. They will have maximum loss bonus going into the next round. And this is a pretty idyllic play, pretty much the best you could hope for. You've got that 1 rifle, let's boost him up, let's try and give him a cheeky kill. Maybe that'll steal another weapon away. Unfortunately, it hasn't really worked out for anything there. They're going to have to fall back, and Yugi, now he has the AWP. They've got 2 of them on the T side, in fact. Snappy, you'd assume it'd be Cajun B or the secondary AWP, but Snappy's actually very capable with the weapon. He's in-game leader. A lot of AWPers and in-game leaders like to kind of combine that idea. And Flusher, he's got a few ideas of his own. He's used the Desert Eagle towards the upper ramp there, takes down Gade, but an instant reply from Cajun does level the situation, but Yugi's been tagged down to 18 HP there.
Downside for Flusher is he couldn't get his hands on the weapon that dropped. So still only has Desert Eagle, just an M4, no grenades on the belt of Fnatic. It's going to be very difficult to hold the line, but Exist is going to go through for 1. Snappy finds him out in the open. As free a kill as he could hope for. And now Draken pushed on the site, could be the last line of defense. Flusher behind him towards Ivy. Just coming up to 30 seconds on the timer. They're going to be forced to go through onto this one. Bomb sprawls out into the open as Config finds out exactly where Draken's positioned. But now Flusher, who started the round with a crisp 1 deke, is going to have to go 2 better.
Well, he is decent. Playing much better in 2018, Flusher, but with no armor, no nades, no kit, no weapon. I think you get the picture at this point. It's not looking likely in 5-0. It's almost certain at this point. He'll do whatever he can here. If he can kill 1, that's fantastic. We've still got so much to do here. Goodness gracious, Snap, you've got to be careful now. This is actually looking a little bit troublesome. But without the kit, I think he's pretty much fine. As he'll count to 5 in his head. Even if he dies here, it's still going to be absolutely under control. Makes it uncomfortable. At least Flusher's going to try and take the AWP away. He has been a nuisance, Vince. He won't win the round, but he's cost him a lot. Trying to base him out. He's going to fire for that smoke. Nope, just going to use it as the exit. As Snappy might even go down with the bomb here. That's perfect. If he dies here, that's a very good play by Flusher. He gets 2 kills, takes all 5 down, picks up the AWP, and finally, and going into round number 6, on the CT side of train, we're going to see an AWP available for Fnatic. It's never too late, but it certainly isn't the start they were looking for. We are going to have the double AWP set up, as expected, Draken and JW. You'd expect Draken to be the forefront of the AWPing, dictating where he wants to take the aggressive picks. Normally plays around this connector and watch towards main entrance at the very start to see if anyone's going quick towards that all-off position. No one decided to go there just yet. It's actually more of a heavy approach towards the alley. As Yugi is looking for the opening pick. 3 players here in total. It'll be Exist waiting on the other side. Just with the rifle, remember, he can't really challenge that. Drops the smoke to buy himself some time. Config waiting for him to shoot. He knows how Exist plays. He's been watching those demos. He's aware of what that smoke means, but Exist quickly adjusts, hearing the bullets, and plays a more passive game here.
Yeah, the downside here, as you highlighted him, Flusher's been doing consistent work. He's 6-3. The rest of his team combined only have 7 kills between them. That's going to have to change, and this is the best chance of doing so. They have full weapons behind them with utility and the kits. The AWPs not really coming into play just yet. There's smokes and flashes are traded. Config going to have to wait a little bit longer on Ivy, joined by 2 of his teammates of Yugi and Snappy. but just shy of a minute to play with now. So they've done a decent job of whittling down the time, Henry, but there's still more than enough for OpTic to set play.
Absolutely, they still have their 3 smokes. They've got the majority of their flashbangs. They're making some decent progress down towards that Ivy position now. You can see Snappy leading by example there, getting stuck in. He'll be jumping through first. They've got a smoke to actually get towards a backtrack. There's no CT presence there whatsoever, Vince. So what can they really do here? Draken's got an answer, apparently, hitting the shot to the AWPs. This is what we wanted to see from Fnatic. They limited themselves in the early sectors of the game, but you can see why they wanted to get towards the AWPs much better, and it's going to be a Fnatic round here. Just Gade holding up towards the pop dog position right now, but you can see exactly what OpTic are trying to do there. Smoke to the left-hand side, flash out, and go towards those backtracks. Usually one player there, maybe an AWP. You can trade out kills with it, against him, which is very likely considering they had 3 players going in that direction. You can go towards CT spawn, you can split towards inside. It was a very underrated and underused strategy in my opinion. Saw a lot of it in like 2015, 2016. It's kind of gone out of fashion recently, but it was a nice idea. Have we got triple AWP setups now for Fnatic? I'm not sure if I spotted another one, but we certainly have got 2 AKs, 2 AWPs for now as they start to stabilize here. But they do need to be very careful of the reset potential. For anyone who's not aware, it's been a while since we've been here in the Counter-Strike arena. So you get a maximum loss bonus of losing 5 rounds in a row, which gives you $3,400 per round. As soon as you win a round, that is the reset, meaning any rounds you lose after that, you only get $1,400. And presumably, you'll have 0 after losing the previous round, and then you'll have to eco maybe twice in a row. I think that explains it all.
I think you nailed
pretty
it.
well. I think we can go with that. And that's the position of Fnatic in right now. They haven't been reset yet, but the potential is there.
The problem, though, for OpTic is because of Flush's brilliance, as you were highlighting, doing so much work in 1v3s, 1v4s,
exactly.
OpTic are now into a position where they have to go for a Deagle and a CZ. Their finances are pretty much depleted.
It's a very good point. If you think about Counter-Strike in terms of just individual kills, they're all so important. There is a weight to every single frag you find, maybe some more significant than others. But Flush's work, absolutely. Especially the round we got 3 kills in total, took all of them out, saved the AWP. That really was the beginning of the end. So after winning 5 rounds in a row, OpTic have been kept modest. I think they'll go for an execution-based play here. You can see they've got 2 AKs, 2 pistols, and the UMP. This is going to be dropping the smokes of flashbangs, try and trade out with the AWPers. Draken's waiting in that connects up. Flusher's at the upper ramp. I don't see Fnatic giving in here. The positions are decent. Flusher not overcommitting towards that, but just waiting for anyone to drop down. Draken shouldn't have too much trouble here. Once the smoke comes in, he's actually got a bit of a gap there, so that could be a little bit troublesome. He's been flashed. Doesn't hit the shot. Well, I think he did actually. I think he legged one of them, so there we go. But they do get through for now.
Yeah, he legged Yugi on the approach. Gates is also down to 17. They've used all the utility, barring the one flashbang. They have managed to worm their way onto the site. The bomb plant's not quite down just yet, but will be momentarily. And there we have it, 1-for-1 trade. But a huge bulk of utility still in the hands of Fnatic. An extra player and more HP. It doesn't bode well for OpTic, but with that bomb plant, it does at least get them across a little bit more money to play with in the next rounds. Assuming they do lose this, Snappy's going to try and throw a spanner in the works, though, with 1. But no second kill to follow up, so Fnatic will get consecutive rounds.
Well, there we have it. It looks a little bit dicey, but for me, there was no doubt in my mind that Fnatic were winning that round. Very well controlled, didn't overcommit. Like we said, passive positions, which does allow the bomb to go down, but they keep 3 players alive. Pretty comfortable retake in the end. And OpTic definitely had a chance in that 3 versus 2, but just didn't have the weaponry. They had a UMP and a CZ. Maybe a chance for another kill, but overall, Fnatic looked very comfortable there. And this should be the start of their campaign on the CT side, officially. They'll be up against just the pistols here of OpTic. Deagles, some body armor, 3 players with that. And just 1 flashbang. Usually flash in once towards inside, something like that. Flash down Pop Dog, try and overwhelm the 1 player waiting towards inner. That's going to be Flusher for this round, of course. He's got the AK-47. Drops a smoke to buy himself a bit more time and get intel in this particular position for anyone jumping across just like that. I think he heard one jumping across. That's why Draken falls back to help him out.
OpTic hoping that Fnatic make a couple of wrong steps. See if they can trade across to some weapons, but nothing just yet. Fnatic playing this one spot on, not showing themselves, knowing that they can keep OpTic at arm's reach. Damage being inflicted by Draken, who gets 1, but there's the 1 dig in retaliation by Config, and now they're going to water out on the catwalk, and they've got 2 kills. This is going to be another bomb plant.
Really is. This is actually looking quite problematic now. It's up to the big names of Fnatic, JW and Crims, making light work of the offense of OpTic. They're trying to get towards the connector and the backtracks, and it all falls apart. Fnatic recover once again, and it's actually quite a convincing victory. And round number 8 in the end, it was looking quite scary as 1Ds coming in. That's one thing I'll always say about Danish teams, and maybe Scandinavia in general. The Desert Eagle of some of these guys is unbelievable, especially the likes of Yugi and Config. You'll see some great shots coming out from them. But that's it. 3 in a row now for Fnatic. 5-3 is the overall score as we get deeper into the first half here. Remember, it is the best of 1. OpTic had a rough time over at the DreamHack Masters. Really haven't had fantastic results as of late. They've got such a star-studded roster, one of the biggest organizations in the world. I think it will come together eventually, but this tournament will be a good litmus test to see where they're at and what the practice is doing for them. MP9 for flusha. Considering he's got 7 grand, Vince, that's an interesting one, but it's working out for him, and he gets the first kill.
Yeah, allows him to play very aggressive, and so far he's 12-4, top fragging by a considerable margin.
Ouch.
Trades are quickly going to go in favor of OpTic, though, and I think ouch certainly is the correct phrase, because suddenly Fnatic have their heads spun around. Draken can't see a single thing to smoke there, but Crims is going to be found nonetheless. Draken can't do anything, feels helpless at this stage, doesn't want to give his position away, there's no guaranteed kill, wants to wait for that smoke to dissipate, but meanwhile flusha is on the B side, so it's almost as if Fnatic have just realize this round's over for them. There's really not much they can do.
We'll see what happens here as we get further into it. There will be flusha still with the MP9, and like I said, considering he's got so much money, like 7 grand even now, surprised he goes for the SMG, but he did open things up, and now Draken working with him, obviously holding towards those backtracks once again, but flusha's made his way towards T-spawn. Now this could be an interesting play. If he can do anything with this, potentially can find a kill. He's just trying to lock them in right now with 30 seconds to go. He knows they're outside. It's a nice little crossfire of sorts. They're like just closing them in, taking a bit of a gamble towards outside. That's confirmed with the smoke, and now the utility coming in. Draken's going to try and take the attention away, not before flusha can find yet another with the MP9. Trying to have a plan, but might be out of luck here. If he manages to win this one, he would be absolutely fantastic, but not going to happen this time. And OpTic, after losing 3 in a row, answer back. But I guess luckily for flusha and co, considering he didn't buy heavy weaponry before, he's got plenty to drop weapons. They've actually got the double orb set up once again, Draken and JW. We'll check him with the scoreboard. flusha, like you mentioned, he's posting big numbers there, 13 and 5. Nearest to him is Draken and JW. They're hovering around 6 kills. The top of OpTic is Config, of course, 10 kills for him. Everyone else between 5 and 7. So let's get into round number 10 then, shall we? We'll see whether OpTic can continue their success on the T side. 6 rounds on the T side of train. At this point, job's already done. They've already had a decent half at this point, in my opinion. Everything else is a bonus. If you get 6 rounds here, you're feeling pretty confident. But obviously, everyone wants more. Good nade. Always does decent amount of damage. Not this time, though. Cajun just takes it for 2. Draken playing the connector once again, but that's a perfectly timed flash. What a nice little sequence that is. Yugi, so strong in those sort of positions, and now flusha, he'll have to be strong as well. He holds towards the bomb train here. He's been good for 1 so far, but considering the situation, that just isn't good enough. Crims, an absolute beast as of late, but is this going to be enough?
Well, with the numbers advantage, you'd think not, but that's a whiffed spray by Snappy. Should be doing better, and it's that man, Crims. A guy you definitely don't want to let back into a round, because he will punish you. Cajun B, holding the close angle with the AK-47, has Config there just behind him, but Crims has gone in for his 3rd, and suddenly Config, scratching his head, has to somehow try and clutch this one out, spots the jump across as the defuse comes in the smoke, can see through it though, and it gets the double spray onto Crims and Exist. Very well played in the end, but man, Henry, that was getting far too close for comfort.
It really was. That was a locked-in OpTic round, but it took the big man himself, Config, to step up in the 2 versus 1. Great play by him. Didn't look like he panicked at all. A lot of players, when they hear the defuse and smoke, their natural reaction just to spray it, get the knife out, start swinging. He knew the smoke wasn't spot on. He used that to his advantage, and at that point, let's get that first kill. It was a lock in there. He couldn't communicate quick enough as to where he was, and it will be the force buy from Fnatic. This could be a huge nail in their proverbial coffin here. If they lose this one, Vince, it'll be 8-3 down. Money will be in the bin, and we'll see whether they can aggressively find the first frag. Turns out they can. Snappy's unfortunate there. He threw the bomb away, and the second he did it, they ran around the corner and gave it a sort of bother here. You can see a bit of panic setting in there, expecting the reaction play to come through, and the secondary player in the form as Exist would run around the corner. There are 2 more players there, so he's correct in his initial thoughts, but they are going for the boost now. This could actually be quite clever. Will they go up for the silent play? This is a guaranteed kill for Crims. Maybe even a second. But he plays it smart. He just gets out of there. He wants to maintain the advantage they got, go 1 step further. They've got the bomb, and it's a 3 versus 2.
just pure chaos play by
Yep.
Fnatic, pushing up PopDog round the side. They had no idea what was coming up against them. And suddenly, run a 3-on-2. Draken has no Kevlar, but he does have the scout, so the one-tap potential still in play. But his two teammates rocking out quite a bit more healthy than they were at the start of the round. Still plenty of time, though, for OpTic to feel where these weaknesses could be bulging out. And Crims is about to show his hand, but it's going to be Config. And it steps up to the plate and delivers the headshot. 2-on-2. Bomb still dropped, however. And as far as they're concerned, Fnatic are camping it. So OpTic are taking their sweet time. This could just come down to the clock being their ultimate nemesis.
We'll see what happens here. The scout and CZ, all of a sudden, it shifts towards OpTic, but the time is running out. Draken, he gets the tag, but unfortunately gets taken down straight away, and now the percentage chance of them winning this round goes down to around 6 as Exist. 2 versus 1, but he has got a decent position, to be fair. Config swings around and anticipates it. Great preemptive, though, from Exist. Leaves it the 1 versus 1. He has got no kit, remember. AK and armor. Has to make a bit of noise here. Knows he can't really snake around the site. You wouldn't usually take the bait here of your Yugi because you know he probably doesn't have a kit. Luckily, it works out for him. And at that point, that's pretty much round 1 because Exist, unless he gets an insta-kill here, I don't think he has time. Yugi stays calm, wins the round, and that is a difficult situation now. It was looking so good for Fnatic, Vince. That aggressive push, the boost to find the lead, to get the bomb, and they gave it all up. It came down to that 2-on-2, and at that point, Draken's position was absolutely everything. He couldn't just get a tag there. He needed more than that. There's Config getting it done. He's been their savior in a lot of these rounds. He's got 14 kills, 7 deaths. Flusher with 15 and 7. So they're the heavy hitters on either side, and it has to be pretty much a full eco here. A couple of players with some body armor and upgraded pistols. Surprised Draken's gone for a P250 armor, considering it's the AWPer, and the problem has been really that they can't get the AWPs in his hand. Either way, this should be a lock-in for OpTic, but stranger things have happened, especially after the player breaks. We normally see some chaotic CS, as you pointed out. It can be some of the sloppiest times. But this is perfect. I just thought the majors coming up. Got a really prestigious event like this to kind of get everyone back into the swing of things. And I'm sure the quality is going to get so much better towards the end of this tournament. I'm really excited for this one. Such a stacked event and a lot of history DreamHack Masters now. It's kind of building up its own repertoire and storylines. It's very cool.
Well, absolutely. And as we said, I mean, these are two global brands, right? Fnatic and OpTic. Doesn't get too much bigger. To see them duking it out here on Train, it hasn't always been the silkiest or smoothest of CS, but it certainly has been entertaining thus far. And with these pistols in play and OpTic taking a little bit of time to get out of main, this may play into the hands of Exist, who has missed a couple of those shots. Will live to tell the tale, though. For how much longer is the question, because they're starting to breathe down the collective neck of Fnatic, moving towards the site of Exist. He's been found and put down as the bomb gets planted.
Should be the round complete. I say that just because when the bomb's down, they've got no weapons and no real hope at this point. You're better off to saving the body armor and having a second bite of the cherry in round number 13. We're getting to the dying sectors of the first half now. 4 versus 3 as they steal one back. Flusher gets 1 kill. That's pretty much all they're going to get with the looks of things. Draken, like we said, better off to saving the P250 at this point. It's the boring play, but sometimes you just got to play the finances and save this for the next round. He might even go down here. If he can get that AWP away from Yugi, that would be amazing for him. Not going to happen though. Yugi, 2 aware, finds his 12 frag there, and takes away the P250 as well. 9-3, there is a buy available for Fnatic. It's not too bad, actually. They're going to have 4 rifles, make it 5 now. No AWPs or diffuse kits, Vince. It's been a really rough half for Fnatic. They've only strung those 3 rounds together. I just feel like you've got to be more conservative in today's game. You can't force buy every time. You're reliant on 2 big players on a map like Train for AWPs. Why are you not letting yourself get those in the early stages of a best of 1? Just, it really blows my mind. And it's such a catastrophe. You're taking such a huge gamble to think, well, just win round number 2, we'll be fine. Like, you've got a higher percentage chance of winning the overall game playing more tentative CS and playing smart. But overall, we're getting into the next round. Faster play here from OpTic. This is going up brute force towards outside. Equal trade so far, but JW might be able to shut this one down, looking for his 3rd. It's going to be a 2 versus 1 overall. It's Yugi who has to try and take him down. The reload is going to let him down there. Low HP for flush out. This is huge for Fnatic. Great grenade as well. Incendiary deployed, stifling for Yugi here. And down he goes. Flusher toys with him. Much faster round there from OpTic, but 1 that won't be working out for them. You can see Fnatic not getting too excited just yet. They know they have a lot of work to do. Yumpy's trying to raise morale with the fist bumps coming through, but great stuff by JW. Unlucky not to get the third there, but certainly inflicted the damage. Shotgun comes out once again. Need to avoid the reset here once again for the final round. If OpTic get double digits on the T side, that could be a death sentence.
Oh, it certainly could, and it just seems like these big plays from everybody barring flusha are too sporadic, though. I mean, he's still 17-8, top fragging by 3. The nearest player on his team's on 9. Snappy, rubbing salt in the wounds. JW are hot off a very impressive round. His first to fall from a pistol.
He just ran down PopDog with Deagle there and challenged the shotgun, took no damage, and as soon as the shotgun fires one shell and gets nothing for it, you know you've got yourself a kill there. It's going to be no problem at all. Ideally, the shotgun needs to get one shot, insta-kills, and you can stack them up, chain them together as Yugi and Config just dissect the outer defense here. Nothing Fnatic can do about it. They haven't even done any damage yet, Vince. This is absolutely overwhelming. And like we said, that nightmare situation, considering they're going to have $1,400 per player going to the final round. You have to save these two M4s. There's no two ways about it. And Exist went for the hero play that really didn't work out for him. And now flusha in the 5, make it 4 versus 1. But like I said, they need a rifle for the last round just to have any sort of fighting chance here. Snappy knows the money's not really a factor for them right now. They'll be fine. And flusha does get another, but saving the AWP, Yuki doesn't want to be anything to do with this, getting a nice defensive position. This is the flusha trying to take money out of their hands once again, build up his own bankroll. Every kill he gets with the M4 is $300. He's got 600 so far bonus. He's got a kit. Is he actually thinking about going for this? Vince, no. Okay.
Yeah, that smoke wasn't ideal either. Quite a few angles they could see him from, but as you say, because of that aggression at the end, they will lack an extra M4 that could have been the difference maker.
I think he kind of committed to the Ninja defuse at that point. He's like, you know what, I'm going for it, boys. We really do need this. It did not work out for him, and it will be the pistols for the final round here. Draken 6 and 12. The analysts are building him up, saying he's amazing on train, which historically probably is his best map for an NIP, but we're hoping for a bit more today. The fact they're not letting him do that and they're force buying so much is a bit of a problem for me. Yugi's had no problem whatsoever. Just taking them apart one by one, but the Deagles of the Swedes sometimes can be quite tantalizing. They will get one in return, but can they find anything more? Yugi over the top will answer back. Now a 2 versus 2. It's very chaotic. As he tries to find the remaining player in the smoke there, actually goes down to the 2 versus 1 in favor of Fnatic.
He's going to miss his flick, and that probably will be the end of the round, although he's still doing a lot of damage with that Desert Eagle. But 2 CZs with 123 health. It was just delaying the inevitable, but still 10 rounds on T side.
It's great, but for me, those sort of outside plays when you're going super fast against a team like Fnatic, you know you've reset them, right? You know they've got only pistols. Well, why not just use the advantage Yugi got you there? He got you the outside pick. Let's just hold the brakes. Let's just calm down. Like, let's just win this round methodically and correctly. I hate those sort of plays. You get one kill, everyone's like, let's just go. There was no real tactic or strategy there. So it's like, everyone ran into pistols. Sure, great shots from Fnatic. Can't take anything away there. I would just prefer a bit of patience and more methodical play. But overall, yes, you're absolutely right. Cannot take anything away from the scoreline on the T side. 10 rounds is fantastic. You win the pistol, you're up 13-5, my friend. We'll see whether they can do it. Doesn't normally go that smoothly. These leads can slip away very quickly, especially against a team like Fnatic. This is a best of 1, remember, so a lot on the line here. There's the old guard at the end, JW and flusha. Getting ready for the next half. They know they need this pistol, Exist. Now the in-game leader of Fnatic, brought over from NIP. Swedish scene for so long were so reluctant to change rosters. Remember back in the day, like 2015, 2016, NIP especially, just never really ever seemed to change. But now we're getting roster changes of these guys quite frequently. It's getting a lot of names is being exchanged. Obviously, Draken being brought over from NIP and Electro vice versa. It's quite interesting to see how that's all playing out. NIP just won their first game against NRG, just to note, 16-30, and I think that's a great result for them, considering how good NRG have looked recently.
Oh, yeah. They look great.
Yeah, that was quite exciting, but we'll see how that develops as the tournament goes on. For now, though, the pistol round begins. OpTic with the 4 sets of armor, same story for Fnatic. They've also got 2 P250s. That seems to be the meta right now. Equal trades at the start. Snappy only good for 1.
What Fnatic need to do is watch that game that FaZe and Heroic played, where other Danes let a huge lead slip. But so far, Config, he is not letting this go anywhere. Headshots to plenty. And there's the final nail in the coffin of the second pistol. OpTic take it. And as you say, I mean, the second pistol was so vitally important. That was a lifeline.
Yes.
That has now just been completely wiped clean.
Well, presumably they will force buy here in the second round. But this wasn't too compelling for me. Like, Fnatic just had a couple of players at every choke point. 1 at main entrance, 2 PopDog, 2 at Ivy, just go out together. There was no real smokes or flashbangs deployed. You could see Config, he even got dinked at the start, but just recovers and just starts picking off heads. I think they were just going for brute force there. It will be CZs, though, across the board for Fnatic. Another force buy fully in the next round. I think Exist must have dropped weaponry. Oh my god, was that... It's going to be decent, but not actually equate to a kill, but Yugi knows there's low HP players around the corner. This should still be fine. I say that. JW somehow snuck towards Ivy there. Recovering now our OpTic, but still, things got a little bit uncomfortable. The good news is the existing Crims just need to be sneezed on at this point. They're going to be going down, so presumably OpTic still pick up the round. Great positioning there from Cajun. Just playing to win the round instead of going for anything too flashy here.
Lumbering their way through Ivy, picking shrapnel out their kneecaps.
Yes.
Did well over 100 damage off that one grenade.
This is good, though, from Fnatic. Instead of just committing as being lazy, they're like, let's just use the minute we have on the clock here. Let's get inside their heads, but oh dear. Conflict's coming, and that's exactly what they needed. He'll go down, and now this makes things very difficult because now OpTic presumably have to have one player inside, one player outside. Everyone's low on the Fnatic side, but where do they go with this one? Draken holding T-spawn for now. Cajun and Gage sticking together. Fnatic can steal this round away, considering they only had pistols to start with. They might still have a stay in this game. Both in CT spawn for now, 25 seconds. Good flashbang Exists, takes it to the face. He is the bait though, but looks things in. So using this man advantage they've got, sending a low HP Exists just to get information in. He's doing it very well. He's not giving up too much. He's just going to be, making footsteps now. That could be a problem, but it's only him. The rest of the players towards outside, but Cajun is aware of it. He knows that's a fake. One kill here should secure it. Great positioning again. Finds the bomb. That should be the round. Not even a chance to plant it anymore. And that's great by Cajun. I even pointed it out earlier. He's just playing to win that round. He doesn't want to go for all the kills, all the headshots. He knows the time left. Good awareness from Gate as well. That's all down to his call. If he panics there and says, they're coming inside, I've heard a footstep, that could ruin everything. But he knows what they're like. He knows what Exist was up to. He gets that one kill. Cajun didn't panic. And we will find a very advantageous position for OpTic now. 12-5 and another Felico against them.
And ironically, the bait actually baited Fnatic. Because
Indeed.
Typically the first play is not going to go that aggressive towards Connector.
Yeah.
It was kind of this two-pronged idea. If I bait, we can maybe get the round off that. If not, I wrap round Connector and I can help you guys take a side.
Sure.
So again, I think that was a spot-on call, as you said. Now OpTic 12-5 in lead. Looking like it's going to be a comfortable 13-5 config. Money in the back, 3 P9 frags. Yugi with the next 2. And Fnatic, they have Everest to climb if they want to bounce back into this game.
Not impossible, but certainly not likely. And once again, they won't have the AWP going for that first gun round. Crims is actually left with just a CZ. What's happened there? He'll be switching things up with Exist. He'll be taking the pistol. That's quite common. The in-game lead is considered usually to be the lesser fraggage when you have your star players, which Crims certainly is. With the rifle, he'll be dropped the AK by him. This is a bit of a bonus round for the CT. You can see him getting aggressive towards Pop Dog. Gades on the lower ramp, ready to challenge there with Yugi backing him up. Firing out the skylights there. Flash Edge trying to bait out a bit of action here. This Molotov presumably lands on top of this Pop Dog area, which will make things a little bit uncomfortable for Config, meaning he has to fall back. Let's see how that happens just yet. He'll have to actually challenge now. Baited in by Flusher. He's going to live to tell the tale there. You can see him getting spammed down. This is exactly what it's designed to do, just be stifling. As Flusher now, a little bit frustrated with the smoke coming in. That's actually well played by Config. Just kind of relieves the pressure for a few seconds to adjust himself. He wants to fall back. He still wants to fight this though, Vince. He wants to crack it as he goes towards the cobweb here. Seeing if Flusher will peak again.
Yeah, Fnatic definitely taking the L in terms of that trade. They've used
Ouch.
2 Molotovs, but Gade from the side finds Flusher. The talisman of train thus far has crumbled. Will Fnatic follow suit? Aforementioned CZ still in play. Exist looking to see if maybe he can salvage the AK-47 from his fallen brother of Flusher. We'll find it just now. But still, just shy of 40 seconds, Henry. They are running out of time.
They really are. Options really not there either. I think their main lifeline here is JW trying to make anything he can happen. And luckily, it's against the UMP at this side of the map. But Config does win the fight eventually. So does Snappy. It's all falling apart. 5 versus 1. No chance of winning this. Draken will go down again. And Vince, the money's absolutely done for. They got 0 kills there. OpTic, it feels like it's a lock-in at this point. Fnatic just aren't turning up. All they've really done is have that spell of 3 rounds in the first half, but I think they've played themselves. I've said it a few times now. They didn't give themselves a fighting chance to have the best possible situation for themselves. The finances, I feel like they just thought, oh, our individual skill will carry us through this. We'll make this happen. We'll get one of those rounds with the CZs. It'll all come together. They actually did win the final round of the first half with pistols only, and still nowhere near enough. in that first half. So Galil's, and they have force ball for Draken. An unlikely candidate to use the rifle here. We'll see whether he can get it done. Galil and Han, I'm not sure. KJB holds towards inside. Draken takes significant damage there from the incendiary. Sends him packing towards inside where his teammates reside. This is the fake of sorts, I guess, unless that was some sort of elaborate smoke thrown by JW.
Yeah, that Molotov put him into the 1 bullet range of those 2 M4s.
Oh, good smoke there.
It's been extinguished. Now the flashbang behind is going to be difficult for Fnatic to push out. They should be murdered on the approach, and so far Crims has gone down. The timing, I thought, may work against Cajun, but that's not going to happen. 2 more frags go his way. Fnatic just with a Galil and a CZ, but it is going to be post-plant. Config will be favourite to take the first. I think he saw a pixel of Exist peeking around the corner, and it's too easy for OpTic. 15-5.
We've had a lot of one-sided games today, haven't we? I didn't think this would be it. I thought this would be one of the game of the days, to be honest. I actually gave this in my thoughts yesterday that Fnatic would run away with this one. I thought Train would be a likely candidate for these two teams, and I feel like Fnatic, considering what we've seen from OpTic recently, they would be the ones who would be favoured here. I'm going to look at the scoreboard quickly just so we can get a more of an idea of what's happened here. Config, 26 kills, 12 deaths. Yugi, the other big name, one of the top, 22 frags. The top is Flush on 21, but no one else near him. Crims is second on 12, Exist right down on 7, and Draken on 8th. Some of the snipers not really turning up there for the Fnatic side. Here's Snappy, though, trying to finish things off in style. Yugi missed the first shot, but he's got back up, and it might not work out for him. Good for 1 frag, and Config will help him out on the other side of the map. 3 on 3. This could be the end of Fnatic in this best of 1.
Very much isolated, though. 2 players in around Ivy. Flusher by himself. Other side of the map, just looking outside of Pop Dog. What a time to play with, though, and could maybe catch OpTic in transition if they try to rotate too hastily. I think Fnatic are going to take their sweet time, but 10 map and match points for OpTic. I think it was only Chad that went with OpTic to win this game. So he's going to have a smile on his face.
I'm pretty sure he said Fnatic as well.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because we did the show last night, and he was very happy with Fnatic to win this one.
Well,
so unless he changed his mind last minute, I don't know.
Then we're all
Maybe
sad.
he did.
Because we all went Fnatic. I think Twitch chat did too, and it's been pretty lackluster, to say the least. Take nothing away from OpTic. They've played this exceptionally well.
Indeed. Well, still a chance here, Fnatic. It's not over just yet. Win this round. Just have to take it round by round after that. See what we can do. Config won't be able to hit that shot. That was way too difficult. Flusher, nice angle. Gives them the man advantage for now. Cajun B. Back on the AWP. Reminiscent of the TSM days there. Downhill go. JW. Leaves it in the 3 versus 1. Gabe's got his work cut out from him. We're not done just yet. It's going to take 9 rounds in a row for Fnatic to take this to overtime. But they'll give it everything they've got. Money's still very strong for OpTic, so they won't have the respite of an eco just to build a few more rounds here. As this was the initial transaction you saw at the start. It was the aggressive play from Yugi and Snappy, I believe, trying to get whatever they could done at the start there, trying to trade out kills with the AWP and AK combo. Didn't really work out for them, and that was the catalyst for Fnatic making their way towards outside and eventually winning the round. Double AWP set up now, though, Yugi and Cajun. See whether they can finish things off here. It would be a great scoreline to have. 16-6 against Fnatic, the confidence boosting. Yugi at the upper ramp, sent packing, same sort of occasion. Not sure how he got hit so heavily. I guess he got naded at the start. We'll have to see how this goes down for him.
We've already had quite the comeback from another Swede on the side of FaZe against Heroic earlier on. This would be
Hell of a comeback, wasn't it?
quite a few levels above that if Fnatic managed to bridge the gap.
A 15-11 comeback.
It was indeed,
15-6, so yeah, this is one very difficult prospect for them. At this point, I'm not even thinking about it being possible. But when it gets to like double digits, I get 15-10, I'm like, oh, you know what, maybe there's a chance.
I think if they do get towards double digits, so you'd expect OpTic to call a timeout here or there and try and stall it off. But as you say, right now, that's on the very far horizon.
Yes.
And Fnatic, you just got to take each round at a time. As cliche as that is, they can't look at the bigger picture right now. Yeah,
absolutely. Especially the coach, taking your time and stuff, say, guys, play our game. We're not out of the tournament, we lose this one. This can't get much worse than this at this point. Just play each round and see how it goes. All you can really do. 30 seconds remain, though. Time is of the essence. And it looks like an inside play will come through. The bomb. Not going to make a his way in just yet, but a couple of sniper kills coming through. Exist outside, and all of his teammates, so they will get the plant in. 4 versus 3. Exist has to do something magical here with the old bait and switch play outside. If you can get towards connector just as they're committing to the retake, that could be excellent.
Extinguishing the Molotov does allow them a bit more
Well, the bomb
vision.
being planted.
But it hasn't been planted, as he's saying, with 5 seconds. That's it. It's done. Exist can't get to the bomb in time. It doesn't matter if he gets kills. OpTic